Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and the Ukrainians are proposing to lower the mobilization age from 25 years old to 27 years old, and this is actually not news because you can see as per this article, reproduced from Reuters by CNBC, is December 25th. Is a news that was published on Christmas. Then, and this thing has been talked a lot about. There was a argument at which I also covered, dispute between Zaluzhny, the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian armed forces, uh, against Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. So they also cross swords over it, and we go through the article quickly. So the idea was that there is this draft law that was published on the website Parliament to propose lowering the mobilization age from 27 to 25. So in case you do not know, so they cannot mobilize anyone above 27 years old. So if I'm not wrong, so which is why you see a lot of older guys within the Ukrainian armed forces, within the video footages, the POWs, and of course dead soldiers. And so these are also propaganda footages coming out, photos or videos coming out from the Ukrainian armed forces as well. So they have this proposal because the Ukrainian counteroffensive has basically went to shit. They did not even achieve half of what the counteroffensive is designed to do. So the counteroffensive is supposed to go all the way and cut the land bridge between Crimea and Russia, to capture at least capturing the major city of Tokmak or Melitopol, and basically send the Russians into a crisis, which did not happen because incidentally the counteroffensive is attacking against the line which is the most entrenched and well defended line of the entire Ukraine war, where the Russians have prepared the best line over in that region. Especially that region wasn't a major front line for most of the war until the Ukrainian counteroffensive. So which means the Russians have a lot of time to prepare that, which is also why the counteroffensive has failed. So according to Zelensky, they say that the military has proposed to mobilize 450 to 500,000 more Ukrainians. Important to note, remember this point, 450 to 500,000, which is 500,000 soldiers. So, and there is some logic behind this because of some numbers around, like they need to replace the frontline soldiers, around 20,000 soldiers a month to keep up the war effort, which is also making a lot of pro-Russians very excited because it means that the Ukrainians are losing 20,000 over troops on a monthly basis. At least that's the logic that they go for. So Zelensky is not happy with this number because he said that this is a very serious number, this is a very serious issue, and he wants more argument into why they need this many more soldiers. And there is a good reason why this is too many. So I want to go into the population graph. This is the population graph. You probably can't see it as well. Let me zoom out a bit. So no, I can't. Okay, this is bad. Okay, so this I can control. Okay, so you can see this is the demographics of Ukraine. Let me go to another page. This is demographic of Ukraine, and as you can see, the 25 to 27 years old part is actually among the most narrow, and this is also the most among the most important age group because this is the population that has just finished studying. They just entered the workforce. They are going to start family, and it's very important in terms of demographics. Is the older people, like the people above 40, are more expendable in the more general terms, unless they are big business, they are doing very highly high knowledge, high intelligence, high experience work. Then of course people above 40 are very, very highly valuable. But for the future of the country speaking, you need these people to stay alive because you need them to reproduce. And if they don't reproduce, and especially this is the age group that will be uh, getting married soon, or they are pretty important. But the problem is the demographics of Ukraine is also messed up, and you can see there's this huge, pincer movement. They got pincer movement, and very soon they're gonna get encircled. If they actually go ahead with this. And I zoom in a bit in terms of this, and you can actually see how small it is. 25 years old, we are talking about maybe 100,000. 26 years old, barely increased, maybe 120. And then we talk about 27 years old, a bit more, about maybe 140,000. So we are talking about 300,000 men at most that they can mobilize in this change of law, this draft law. If they change, the most they can get out of it is 300,000 men. And this is even this is on the bright side, because there is a good chance that a lot of these people are already escaped Ukraine. They are not in Ukraine, or they are going to be in hiding where you can never find them. I would say that the best chance is 50%. They are able to mobilize 50% of this age group, 25, 26, 27 years old. And that would just make them 150,000 troops. If so, let's say some of you guys may say that the Ukrainians may recruit the woman, right? Even the woman, that would just be another 150,000, because the numbers of population is actually not that different. It's very, very close. Another 150,000. So if you look closely in terms of the woman's one, you can see that it's probably is below 100,000. We were talking about like 80,000, 80,000, 90,000, and let's say they are able to recruit 30% of it. We are talking about 80,000 soldiers. So this proposed law is not as huge as one may imagine, based on the very surface looking, because it's when we look at 25 to 27, and then we look at the population is 30-40 million people. It must be a lot of people, but actually if you look at the demographics, it's not going to raise the number of people that was claimed to be needed. So they say that they need another 450 to 500,000, which means that, like I just now mentioned, they can at most recruit, let's say in total, men and women, 200,000. They're still gonna have to dig out another 300,000 from somewhere where they already have access and still have not tapped. And it's very hard to tell this. If I look, so I decided to look at the refugee numbers. So this is by the United Nations. The United Nations Refugee Agency. They claim that there are 5.1 million people that was displaced internally. That means they lost their homes, because their homes are in Zaporizhia, in Donetsk, in Kharkiv. They lost their home, and 6.2 million refugees left Ukraine. They are now currently overseas. So the 6.2 million, so this is gone. They are definitely not going to come back to Ukraine for what. No matter what what happens, they're not going to come back, unless the country that hosting them decided to go against human rights and send them back to war. So if you look at this is the Wikipedia, the demographics of Ukraine. This is also where I get the chart. If you look at the population numbers after World War II, you can see these numbers have dropped from 41 million to 34, and this is a reflection of the refugees that has left Ukraine on the outside of war, which is why you see 41 drop to 35, and then it dropped further to 34, and you can see that this is death. This is death number. So crude death rate per 1,000. Surprisingly, the number of people who died doesn't really change much, which is kind of weird, because it is a war, people should die. But the death rate didn't really change a lot. We have 15, 14, 13, 14. 2020, that it suddenly have increased for some reason. And then 2021, which is not the war, suddenly 17.4 died Oh, that's COVID, right? That's COVID. And then you have 15.4, 15.4. So the in terms of death number, it doesn't feel like a lot. It doesn't feel like there's a big difference in terms of that, because it's no, this is by per thousand, so this like 2,000 people more per two people more per thousand. Yeah, I'm not sure how to count that. So forget about it. That's around 2,000 people, I think, or 4,000, 5,000. So it's not it doesn't make sense. The increase is not there. It's not reflected. Military death is not reflected tentatively in this chart, and we have Ukraine lost a huge number of population. So things is not looking bright at all. And we've looked further. There is another nuance that is totally lost. Is that they counted people from Donetsk as well. They counted people in Luhansk as well. And the population that was here might actually include the Donetsk and Luhansk people that is actually already out of this chart, the census. They are no longer part of Ukraine because they are already absorbed by the Russians. That include also people in Kherson or Kherson. Kherson is a nice bread, and also Zaporizhia. So the population number might be very warp. That means there might be even lesser people than there was suggested by these demographics. And this demographic includes the people that has left the country. So this is a very, very a difficult situation for Ukraine. And if you look at this density population, you can see that a lot of the population actually is in Donetsk and Luhansk, and this is also where a lot of people have left, which is also why the Ukrainian civil war was so difficult for the Ukrainian government or the armed forces to defeat, because the people is just there are just so many people that is on the rebel side. So based on this situation, you can basically really tell this dropping of the age is not going to do a lot. 100, 200,000, let's say give it 300,000. All the men between 25 to 27, all of them go to the front line. That will only last a year, 1 year, and all of them will be dead. So and we're not even talking about this number of 450 to 500,000, which the pro-Russian people are very excited to calculate in. So so this is the situation. So for those that are pro-Ukrainian, do note that this mobilization lowering of the age is not going to do a lot. It's not going to bring you a lot of men. It's going to be just give you another offensive brigade. The 12 offensive brigades that the Ukrainians have to launch a counteroffensive. And clearly that number of people is not enough, and we're not even talking about equipments to push back the Russians. Anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next update.